All right, so we're back. It's McQueen Inc. So this is to build on the last video on quilts and duvets. So what I have here, what I made here to match my bed is probably more of a bedspread. I don't know exactly what constitutes a bedspread, but it spreads over the entire bed and it's a bedspread because it goes over the entire bed. It doesn't just fit, a corner of it or a very narrow part of it. It spreads over the entire bed. That would be my way of thinking as to what it means. So what I did was I bought a double set of sheets, and these happen to be flannel because it's winter here in Canada. A double set of sheets, and the double set of sheets, at least in Canada, comes with two pillowcases, a fitted sheet, which is a sheet that has elastic on it that fits over the mattress. And the reason it has elastic on it is so that it stays in place. If you just put a flat sheet, what they call just a flat sheet with no elastic, on the mattress and try and tuck it in, it often comes out every day, all day, and you'll be forever fixing it or you'll just leave it. So, best to use an actual fitted sheet on your mattress. You can also buy these little elastics that have clips on either end, and you put them underneath the mattress to attach um, the corners, like one side of the corner to the other side of the corner, so that you can use a flat sheet on a mattress and it stays in place pretty good. I've used those too. You can even use those on a fitted sheet that's too big too. If you have a queen size set of sheets, you can you can use a queen size fitted sheet and use the little elastics to make it a little snugger, right? If that's all you have, or that's what you like, or the set of sheets you like isn't available in a double or whatever, that kind of thing. So what I did was I bought this sheet set, and the flat sheet, to my way of thinking, was meant to go. Let's see if I can get this. So this is the fitted sheet. Where's my hand here? This is the fitted sheet, and this is the bedspread. So my way of thinking is the flat sheet was supposed to go in between the fitted sheet and the duvet or quilt, basically to protect the quilt or duvet, because back in the day they didn't have dry cleaners, they didn't have washing machines. Um, yeah, and so to properly clean a quilt or a duvet um, was very difficult, right? Because they were very heavy, they took a long time to dry. And if it's winter, it's and your house is cold because they didn't have central heat, so hanging it in a cold room to dry, it doesn't dry. It just doesn't. You need some level of warmth for the water to evaporate. Um, and so for the item to become dry, the water has to evaporate out of it. And if it's too cold, the duvet or blanket would just freeze. So my way of thinking was they came up with the idea of putting a piece of fabric between the mattress and the fitted sheet and the duvet or quilt to protect the sheet cover. Men in particular sometimes sweat quite a bit in the night, sometimes nightmares, sometimes, if they work outside, adjusting their body temperature is very difficult when they come indoors, I found. Or even when I spend a lot of time outdoors, it's very difficult for me to acclimatize inside. You'll find that with people that live outdoors in general. When they come indoors, they often overheat quite badly. An ice pack on the back of the neck can help people who work outdoors or live outdoors acclimatize themselves to an indoor party or where it's very warm. An ice pack on the back of the neck can often bring down the temperature enough that people can sit indoors comfortably. So what I did, because I don't use the fitted sheet, because we have washing machines now, we have dryers, we have dry cleaners, we have laundromats that have bigger machines. So if you have something heavy, you can throw it in a big machine at a laundromat, um, and then hang it to dry at home or dry it in the dryers there. But they didn't have that back in the day. And I also can't stand, I'm a fairly type B personality. I like to find the easiest way to get something done. And making my bed every day is a habit of mine. But if it's too difficult to do, if the bed's pushed too close to the wall, and I can't get on either side of it to tuck the sheet in, I get very upset because it makes the job twice as hard. So I just don't ever use the flat sheet, um, otherwise, and it goes in a cupboard, or I make something out of it, a sign or something. But I decided to put it to good use. So I had an insert, so a fluffy, um, I'll call it a quilt, but it's not really a fluffy uh, cover that had synthetic material in and looked like a duvet and maybe looked like a quilt. And I had that, and maybe it had a stain on it or something, and I didn't want to use it. I didn't want it to be seen anymore. I didn't want to ever take it out of the cover. Maybe, I don't want to do my laundry and have a big coffee stain, or maybe my younger brother peed the bed, whatever. If it's got a stain on it, or sometimes it gets burnt in the dryer. If it's synthetic, you can get burnt in the dryer. So for whatever the reason, I didn't want this cover to be seen anymore. So what I did was I took two pieces of fabric. One of them is the fitted sheet for the um, this what sorry the flat sheet. Let me just see here. This was the flat sheet of this uh, sheet set, the flannel sheet set, and this was another piece of fabric. It complements each other, but it makes it reversible. I I I took it folded in both sides and sewed it together. Sewed them together with the fluffy part inside. And that's it. That's about all I did. I just slapped it together like a sandwich and put the quilt in the middle, like the egg or the meat, and sewed it all four sides. And now I have a duvet set that all matches. The bedspread matches the sheets. And you can do this for any size of bed. You can do it for any temperature you want. If you need a cooler sheet, pick um, a a fabric that doesn't make you sweat. There's I don't know what that is. Some of those microfiber sheets. It's hit or miss with those. Sometimes they're not, but they're getting better. But when they first came out, they were not very good, but they're getting better. So you kind of have to play with fabrics and see, which ones make you sweat. There's this brand of pajamas called Cool Girl, and they're a cooling fabric. So, if you're in a lingerie store, the lingerie store I used to work in was called Bikini's in Guelph. There's one in Kitchener and one in Cambridge, and I think the one in Guelph is closing. But either way, they carry. If you Google it, it's called Cool Girl, and they're good for people who might sweat in the night. And so, whatever fabric that is, if you can find some sort of sheets that have that type of mix, cotton, polyester, whatever, that might be something to research, even if you can buy some fabric at the fabric store, because this is a fairly easy concept. Um, Pillowcases are basically just two pieces of fabric sewn together on three sides, and then you leave one side open, you put a pillow in it. Fitted sheets are much the same. You get a little bit of elastic, attach it to the corners. It's not really brain surgery as long as as long as the measurements are okay. And yeah, you can pick whatever fabric you want, you can pick whatever sheets that you want, and then the whole thing matches. So if you like the video or if you like the idea, please send me 50 cents to storm1234.lm@gmail.com and 226-821-9198. Peace and grooviness.